Bryan Levell just shook up the sprinting world, 9.82 seconds in Eisenstadt, the second fastest time of 2025. Jamaica's sprinting revival is real, and the countdown to Tokyo is on. Bryan Levell was already on the radar. He had run 9.94 earlier in the season, a mark that hinted at promise but didn't quite announce him as a medal contender. That all changed in Eisenstadt. The run was near flawless, his start crisp, his drive phase explosive, and his transition into top speed seamless. Unlike his earlier races, where he sometimes seemed to fade in the final 20 meters, Levell held his form and powered through the line. The stopwatch rewarded him, 9.82 seconds. In that instant, Levell leapt from rising prospect to bona fide contender. More than that, he became the 8th fastest Jamaican in history, a list reserved for sprinting royalty. A Jamaican sweep in the rankings. What makes this moment even more remarkable is the broader picture. The top 3 men in the world this season are all Jamaican. Kishane Thompson, 9.75. Bryan Levell, 9.82. Seville, 9.84. It's a statistic that would have felt like fantasy just a few years ago, when Jamaica seemed adrift after Bolt's departure. Now, it feels like the nation is on the brink of a new golden age. 3 men capable of sub-9.85 in the same season is a terrifying prospect for any rival country heading into the World Championships in Tokyo. The road to Tokyo. The timing could not be more dramatic. With the 2025 World Athletics Championships just 6 weeks away, Levell's 9.82 is a thunderclap over the men's 100-meter field. He will arrive in Tokyo not as a dark horse but as a legitimate medal threat. The championship will test not only his speed but his nerve. The 100m is as much a mental battle as it is physical. The start line pressure, the roar of the crowd, the knowledge that a career-defining moment will unfold in less than 10 seconds, all of it can make or break even the fastest sprinter. For Levell, the challenge is clear: consistency. One brilliant race in Austria must now become a repeatable standard. Can he line up against Thompson, Seville, and the Americans on the world stage and reproduce that magic? Beyond the stopwatch. But Levell's rise is about more than just numbers. It represents a shift in energy. Jamaica's sprint culture thrives on momentum. One breakthrough inspires another. One victory lights the way for future champions. Just as Bolt's world records once lifted an entire generation, Levell's run could signal to young athletes back home that Jamaica's sprinting empire is alive again. There's also a personal element to his story. At just 21, Levell embodies the fearless confidence of youth, but also the humility of someone who understands he is part of something bigger. His Eisenstadt win wasn't punctuated by boastful celebrations or grand gestures. Instead, it was a quiet storm, a signal that the work is paying off, that Jamaica has another warrior ready for the fight. A warning to the world. Track and field thrives on rivalries. The Americans have Christian Coleman and Fred Kerley. The Africans have Ferdinand Omanyala. But the Jamaicans are closing ranks. The sight of Thompson, Seville, and now Levell storming the season's charts feels eerily reminiscent of 2008, when Bolt, Powell, and Blake formed an untouchable trio. If history is any guide, one of them is poised to strike gold in Tokyo. And Bryan Levell, with his 9.82, has put his name squarely in that conversation. The echo of Bolt. No Jamaican sprinter can ever fully escape the shadow of Usain Bolt. His 9.58 world record is still the unreachable summit, his charisma still the benchmark for global stardom. But perhaps Levell and his peers don't need to escape it. Perhaps their task is to write the next chapter, not as heirs to Bolt but as authors of a new era. Levell's Eisenstadt run was more than just a fast time. It was a reminder that sprinting is alive, that the island where speed is woven into the culture has not finished producing greatness. 9.82 seconds. A blink, a flash, a spark. But in that fleeting instant, Bryan Levell may have ignited Jamaica's sprinting soul once more. With the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo just 6 weeks away, Bryan Levell has issued a strong warning to the 100m field, clocking a blistering personal best of 9.82 seconds to win the men's 100-meter and break the meet record at the Raiffeisen Austrian Open Eisenstadt on Wednesday, July 23, a World Athletics Continental Tour silver event. The 21-year-old Jamaican sprinter shaved more than a tenth of a second off his previous best of 9.94, set just weeks ago at the National Championships. With the result, Levell enters the record books as the 8th fastest Jamaican in history over the distance. His time also makes him the 2nd fastest man in the world this season, trailing only compatriot Kishane Thompson's 9.75. The top 3 fastest times in the men's 100-meter now belong to Jamaicans, with Seville just behind Thompson and Levell at 9.84. Once dominant in the event, Jamaica has not claimed a men's 100-meter world title since 2015, when Usain Bolt won in Beijing. What a statement from Bryan Levell. 9.82 seconds, the 2nd fastest man in the world this year, and Jamaica's sprinting fire is burning bright again. With Tokyo just weeks away, the question is, can Levell carry this form onto the world stage and bring the title back to Jamaica? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the road to the World Championships. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.